Okay. Now, you've heard me say several times that I have let these dry for 48 hours to make sure that everything is dry. I am sometimes very impatient, and I think that's one of the reasons why on some of these the holes just turned out horribly. Pardon me, that I was rushing. And sometimes I can't help myself. So how do we get these holes into the back part of the chair? And easily enough, get them in there so that, whoops, let me see, because I want to talk about a couple of things regarding these. So I can push them up, push them completely down, leave them there, push them up a little further, like this. I mean, feasibly, I could make a much bigger piece of foam. That might be something else I try to design. But how do I do this? Now, part of it has to do with these little marks that we left. Now, I need you to take a look. These two pieces of foam, this one's a little thinner than this one. This one's about 5, almost 6 millimeters. This one right here is about 5. When you're working with a foam that's a little thinner like this, a foam core, you're going to need to be very careful about where you put the holes. And we'll talk about this in just a second because I just want to walk you through how to do this, how to get the holes in. Now remember how we already made the holes and we had measured where they were supposed to go. So we know that there's an entrance here and it comes out up here, entrance here, comes out here. So I'm going to turn this sideways. I'm going to use my fin bullet because I think it's just easier. And I want you to notice I'm not grabbing it by the end. I'm not being like stabby. Where this is, this mark, I know there's a hole here. So I'm going to pinpoint where the middle is, and I'm going to very gently poke a little guide hole through it. And I'm not meeting any resistance. Nothing is tearing, and most importantly, none of the material from the veneering is being pushed to the inside or splitting. What will happen if it's not dry enough, and like I said, 24 hours is more than enough, but these were 48 hours, it will split because the fibers here are all wet and kind of gross. So they'll begin to split. So I'm going to go, okay, that's good. And again, notice where my hands are. I can see this mark here. I steady the point, and I'm just really gently making sure that hole's there. Turning it around. Okay, it's got a hole. And I want you to notice something. I went all the way around and started putting the holes inward, because remember, every time you make a hole in something, you know what direction it is, because if it comes from this direction, then the material in front of it goes forward. If I'm pushing from this direction, it's going to go this way. So if I push this all the way through on the first time trying to do the hole, all of the material that was once covering this hole is going to explode outward, and it's not going to look good. So what you're going to do is you're going to be really gentle about this and just, okay, now if you don't have an awl and you're doing this, say, with a big needle, what you can do is take one of your bamboo skewers. This is the same width that all of the legs and the back pieces are going to be. And I kind of hold it up and look through to make sure that I can see the other side. I wonder if you can kind of can you see anything through the hole? And I'm going to insert this in and turn, and I'm going to look at this hole, and I'm going to be very gentle. And now I can kind of start to see. Can you see where the end of the, and I'm twisting as I'm going through. Now, one of the reasons I'm doing that is because it kind of polishes a little bit, polishes and pushes. Because what's going to happen is after you're done making this hole, the polystyrene foam on the inside is going to it's going to contract a little bit, and it's going to make the hole smaller again. So when I know that I'll be quickly inserting, and I didn't watch that time, I was gently, and I put my finger over the end, and you can see it's a little off, just a little, but I'm being really gentle. If you get little pieces like that, you can, I try to get them back to the inside. Now, because I know, okay, where'd they go? Here they are. Because I know these holes are going to stay. This is the bottom part because the seam is right there. I was trying to hide the seam to the bottom. And again, inserting very gently and popping this forward. Now, I really don't like that little bit that's right there. That will bug me. I'm just going to take my blade and cut it off. I like to try and do this as soon as I cut the hole. That way, I can place these pieces in and then set them aside. So that means the hole is being held open. It's not going to go anywhere. And I can set it aside. So let's try this one more time. We're going to try it on a thinner one. I'm going to pull 2 of these out, put these away. So I've got this tool, and where'd my fin bullet go? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, tip it sideways. Going to find the middle and go poke just a little bit. Since this is really thin, I'm not going to poke very far into this. Okay. And you'll be able to tell whether you're getting resistance or not. Okay, one more time. Poke. Okay, now I'm going to look and see, am I seeing light through any of them? Okay, I can see light through both of them. This one's a little straighter than this one. So let's try this one. And I'm going to use the bamboo skewer. And remember, go slowly. And I can feel it's going through. There we go. I was watching to see if it was coming through. And then twisting, pull it back out. Because it's not quite on center. Meaning the hole that I made originally is a little crooked. Okay. Okay, now because of that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and put this one in right now. Wiggle, wiggle. And you can see it's coming up a little bit to the one side. And that little bit came through again. Can you see that tiny little icky bit? And I'm going to take my blade, extend it, and cut it off. Okay, so let's try this side. And again, be gentle. And I think what I'm going to do, knowing that this one's a little crookedy, and when I say crooked, it means that when I was making this, I kind of went this way with my fin bullet, and then I came back and redirected, and it just didn't quite go where I needed it to go. It's not got the most straight path. Let's check on the other side. There we go. You see? And go slow. And you can see when I poke through here, I don't push it all the way because I don't want those little pieces to come out. Twist, twist. Let's do one more time this way because I now know it's wide enough. Okay, and I'm going to stop. This is sometimes so hard to do. Oh, I got more of those little icky bits coming up. Oh, but they look like they've already broken off. Oh, maybe not. There. And there's a little bit coming off of that support. Come on, just come off of there. Okay, and then I might, okay, That's not too bad for a really slim one that's about 5 millimeters thick. Now, don't worry about stuff like this where you can see some color and other things. You're never going to see that again. So that is how you put the holes in the backs of all of the chairs.